The Thorn King's Curse, where the night feels safe. All right, before we begin, I want you to slow down just for a moment. Relax your shoulders, unclench your jaw, and take a deep breath in. Hold it and let it out slowly. Good. Now get comfortable. Maybe dim the lights a little, sit back, or lie down. And for the next few minutes, I want you to leave everything behind. Your stress, your worries, that one thought that just won't leave you alone. Let it all fade, because tonight I'm taking you somewhere else, somewhere quieter, darker, and strangely safer. This is not a sweet fairy tale. It's something deeper, something that lingers, so just listen and let yourself drift. In a quiet village, wrapped in fog and forgotten by time, there lived a girl named Elira. Not the kind people noticed, not the one everyone admired. No, she was the one people overlooked. But sometimes, the ones no one sees are the ones who see everything. While others laughed and filled their days with noise, Elira chose silence. She read, she observed, she felt things more deeply than she ever let anyone know. And maybe that's why she never really felt like she belonged. She lived with her father, Merrill, a man who once had everything: wealth, respect, purpose. But life has a way of taking things quietly, piece by piece, until all that's left is someone trying to remember who they used to be. One night, during a storm that didn't feel natural, as if the sky itself was restless, Merrill lost his way in a forest no one dared to enter. And I don't just mean lost in direction. I mean the kind of lost where the world around you starts to feel wrong, where the trees twist like they're watching you, where the air feels heavier with every step. And just when he thought he wouldn't make it out, he saw it, a castle, standing in silence, as if it had been waiting for him. Now, you'd think he would turn back, but desperation, it makes people do things they normally wouldn't. So he stepped inside, and what he found wasn't comfort. It was something far more unsettling, a place that looked alive, yet empty, where candle flames flickered without wind, where shadows moved when they shouldn't, where a table was set for someone who was never seen. He ate, because hunger doesn't wait for fear to pass, and then he saw it. A single black rose, resting under glass, pulsing almost like it had a heartbeat. And in that moment, he didn't think about danger. He thought about Elira, about how she loved strange, beautiful things. And so he took it. And sometimes it's the smallest choices that change everything. The moment he plucked that rose, the castle woke up, the ground trembled, the silence shattered, and from the darkness, something emerged. Something not quite human, not quite beast, something in between. The Thorn King, his body wrapped in jagged vines, his presence heavy, suffocating, his eyes glowing with something deeper than anger, something older, something broken. And when he spoke, it wasn't just a voice, it was a warning. You steal from me and expect to leave alive? And in that moment, Merrill realized this wasn't a place meant for the living. But fear does something strange to people. It strips them down to what matters most. And for him, it was his daughter, so he begged not for his life, but for hers. And the creature paused just for a second before saying something no one could have expected. Bring her to me. Now, most stories would end right there, with fear, with refusal, but not this one, because when Elira heard the truth, she didn't cry, she didn't argue, she didn't hesitate. She simply said, "Take me there." And maybe that was the moment you realize she was never meant for an ordinary life. As she walked into that forest, into that castle, into that unknown, she wasn't afraid. Not really. Because when you've always felt out of place, stepping into the strange doesn't feel like fear. It feels like coming home. Days passed, or maybe it was weeks. Time works differently in places like that. The castle wasn't empty. It breathed, it watched, it listened. Mirrors whispered things they shouldn't. Books opened without touch. And the walls, they felt like they remembered things. And the Thorn King, he wasn't kind, he wasn't gentle, he kept his distance, spoke in cold, sharp words, as if pushing her away was the only way he knew how to exist. Don't wander, don't touch, don't ask. But Elira, she had always been curious, always searching. And some people, they don't fear the unknown, they're drawn to it. One night, she found a hidden corridor, one that felt like it wasn't meant to be found, and at the end of it, a room filled with mirrors. But these mirrors didn't show reflections. They showed truth, the kind of truth people spend their whole lives avoiding. And when she looked into them, she saw him, not the Thorn King, but what he used to be. He was once a man, a prince named Viel, admired, powerful, admired for all the wrong reasons, because power without kindness becomes something dangerous. And one day, something came to him, not to curse him, but to show him every life he had hurt, every heart he had broken, every moment he chose himself over others. And he was given a choice to remain blind or to see himself as he truly was. And he chose truth. And sometimes truth is heavier than any curse. Elira stepped back, because this wasn't a story about breaking magic. This was a story about facing it. And when she looked at him again, really looked, she didn't see a monster. She saw someone who couldn't escape himself. And when she said, softly, "You regret it, don't you?" He didn't answer, but silence can be louder than words. And that's where everything changed. Not into love, not yet, but into something deeper, something quieter, understanding, the kind that doesn't need words, but peace doesn't last long in stories like this. Because one night, the black rose began to wither, slowly, painfully, each petal falling like time running out. And with every petal, the Thorn King weakened, became unstable, like something was unraveling inside him. And the truth finally revealed itself. The rose wasn't keeping him cursed, it was keeping him alive. And when the last petal fell, there would be nothing left of him, not even the monster. And here's the part where everything matters. Elira was given a choice. Leave, go back to a normal life, forget everything, or stay, not out of love, but out of something far more rare, to truly see someone and still choose them. So she walked into the garden. As the final petal trembled, the air heavy, the world holding its breath, and she said something so simple, yet so powerful. "I see you, not the past, not the mistakes, not the darkness, just you." And in that moment, everything stopped. The castle fell silent. The rose shattered, and the Thorn King collapsed. When it was over, the vines were gone, the shadows faded, and what remained wasn't a prince, not fully, and not a monster either, just someone in between, someone real. And when he looked at her, confused, almost afraid, he asked the only question that mattered, why? And Elira, after everything, simply smiled, soft, steady, and said, "Because monsters don't scare me. Pretending you're not one does." And maybe that's what this story was always about. Not love, not magic, but truth, the kind we hide from, the kind we fear, the kind that, when finally seen, can either destroy us or set us free. So now, take a breath, slowly come back, feel where you are again, your room, your space, your world. But ask yourself, if you were standing there in that quiet garden with everything falling apart, what would you have chosen? To walk away or to stay and see someone completely